Hi, thanks so much for joining me. So this video is my 6th grade planning and prep video that I'm filming right before I start homeschool. So I want to tell you guys, we are starting homeschool really early this year for 6th grade because I am due at the end, my baby is due at the end of August. And then also, to throw things a little bit more complicated, we are moving. We don't know exactly when because we have a few more things to do to prep our house. We're selling our house and we plan to move about maybe start looking for a house when the baby's about 2 months old. So this video will be kind of going through each subject with you and myself and this planner and kind of simplifying things because I've already simplified some things and I want to tell you guys. So my approach to having a large assortment of books for each subject just is not going to work because a lot of those books I just plan on packing. So I only want to keep out the bare minimum for what, she absolutely needs for 6th grade. And some of the things I'm just moving in other directions and stuff like that. So let's just get started. Okay, you guys. So the first thing that I want to say that she does is math. So math will have no changes because it's just I just got the whole, Saxon Math 7-6 curriculum. And we have this graphing notebook, which of course stays because she needs a notebook for math. So that's not changing at all. Okay, so let's get started with the student planning notebook from School Nest. So I started to fill this out. I'm really glad I decided to do it in pencil because I've already made a lot of changes. And so so you guys, so the first thing I did was write math every day, Monday through Friday. And that's not changing. And then let's go to language arts. So language arts, I actually thought I was going to be able to cut some stuff from language arts, but actually language arts is probably my favorite subject, and it's hard for me to, well, besides art, but language arts was very hard for me to edit. Let me start with the beginning. So from the beginning, the first thing we normally do is oral read aloud, which is Aesop's Fable. So this I'm not cutting. It is a big fat book, and it'll, we'll have to it's okay though. I was I just can't. So we're gonna continue with this. So I'm sticking with that. And then I'm continuing with oral stuff for language arts. Let's see. I got this book, which is A History of Words. Sorry, my cat has been all over this table. Apologize. You'll see cat hair. A History of Words for Children. So this was another book that I got just to do oral, a little bit of oral reading. She's going to have to really be a self-starter for 6th grade. She's going to have to really do a lot of independent work. And the more oral stuff that she has to do with me kind of complicates things. She'll just have to read this to herself. So it's okay. But I was should I cut it? I love it. I was can I fit this in somewhere else? I actually kind of regret starting this process so late in the summer. And I think we're going to start homeschool July 29th, which will be into the first week in August. That's what we're going to do, you guys. So we're starting July 29th. And then the week the baby's due, where I'm planning to have a C-section, and then the week after, which we also have a family member that's supposed to come from out of town. So those 2 weeks, I'm going to give my daughter off because she's going to be going back and forth to the hospital with my family, my husband, and we're going to have the baby's going to be brand new in the house that week, and then the week after, and then I'm going to be at the hospital for a few days. So I don't, it's going to be impossible for her to do homeschool. So we're going to start July 29th just to get a flow. And then she's already going to be stopping about a month later, mid to end August. So yeah, so that's the plans. Another thing she'll be doing in the beginning is the planner. the planner will definitely be the very beginning of the day. And then alongside with the planner, this book will go with it. This is another book, like if I was purchasing the homeschool stuff now, I probably wouldn't have bought these two, and I probably just would have did the Aesop's Real Loud. Not that these aren't great books, it's just like I'm trying to like minimize, but then I already bought them and I don't want to like put them aside. I mean, I could put them aside literally for another year, or maybe just when I get back, on my feet, like when I get back in our regular routine. But I was like, no, I'm just going to continue with this book. So this is going to be another oral, everyday amazing, with the little fact per day. So this will be something she reads alongside that correlates with the date. So this I'm keeping. Honestly, I didn't really get rid of much language arts because I'm just like, I'm so attached to a lot of the curriculum I bought. But okay, continuing. Now, let me put this aside. Okay, so now I'm getting into the written stuff. So I didn't edit any of the subtract any of the written stuff out of language arts. And the order of this, I will film a video later on, whether I do that in the summer before the baby comes or like during the school year. I will do a day in the life at some point. And I also will do subject videos at some point to show you guys what's working and stuff like that. But for now, the flow is kind of off because we haven't started yet. So these things might be in a different order. But so continuing with now the written stuff for language arts. Usually we start kind of with handwriting for the written stuff. So this is the Evan Moore daily handwriting practice. She will absolutely continue this. Do this every day. I didn't edit this out. And this is actually programmed to do scheduled to do Monday through Friday. So she will definitely be doing that. And then so what I did was I just wrote language arts on the schedule every single day from Monday through Friday, except Friday with writing and daily handwriting are the only language arts that she will do on Fridays, because both of them end on a 5 day a week schedule. So I didn't want to just do these Monday through Thursday, which is what we usually do for language arts. So I extended just these two, and I wrote winning with writing and daily handwriting on the schedule. Okay, so winning with writing is new for us this year and from Jack Hurst Publishing, and so it will be something that she's going to be doing new. So that is winning with writing, level 6. So that's continuing with writing, and then the manual, and then continuing with that is growing with grammar from the same company. Now this she's been doing for years. She will definitely continue this. She'll be doing this independently. So yeah, so she'll do this, and this is like something she always did kind of independently. Okay, continuing with language arts. Now we have the 6th grade notebook also from School Nest. Now I decided, now we have 2 more language arts things. We have the illustrated Edgar Allan Poe, and then we have Once Upon a Word origin dictionary. Now these two also, you can call them extra things that I was like, should I just cut them? Because this is like extra stuff she has to do. I was like, I don't know. So I might edit more later, but for now, I'm just keeping them. What I decided to do, so we were going to do this orally together one day a week. Then I decided that's too complicated. She's going to get off track because I'm not going to be there with her. I'm going to be preoccupied probably in the first few weeks. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to make this an independent writing. So I changed this from oral to a written assignment. So what I did was, let me show you guys. I bookmarked some different areas in the 6th grade notebook. So this section is called Poe. And I wrote Edgar Allan Poe. So what I want her to do is open it each day to the poem, read the poem, and then it has like these expansion, engage, imagine, and definitions. I love how it has a little side panel of extra things to do. So what I want her to do is go in the 6th grade notebook. That way I know she read it. I mean, I'm not that she would lie about reading it, but I want her to get more out of it than usually what we would do is just read poems orally, and that was cool. But since this book has extra things like engaging, imagining, defining, and some questions and stuff like that, I'm not going to probably be available all the time to help her do that orally. So I wanted her to, I wrote the imagine answer, so she will answer the question in the imagine section. And then I wrote define a word, so she can pick one of these words in the side panel to define. And then I wanted her to like draw a little something inspired by the poem or the illustration on that page. So I thought it'd be a little bit more interactive for her. Now, it has 25 poems. So I said every day, but so what she's gonna do is do this once a week. And I didn't put that on the in the school notes planner because I thought she would just remember that. She has like a really good memory, and she's only 11, so she'll remember that. I can get her in the groove of doing that, you know, the beginning before I have the baby. So yeah, okay, sorry, I rambled enough. That was my plan, okay? So we're continuing with this book, but like I said, just written now. We were gonna just do it orally. Now, this book, same concept. I went in the 6th grade notebook and I just like sectioned off an area in the beginning, and I went ahead and I want her to read this on her own and do some independent work. So I just I sectioned off, let's see, I wrote some sections from this book in here. Like I want her to define a root, define a prefix, suffix, because it has a whole section, you know, of roots and prefixes and suffixes. I want her to do that so I can know she really read the beginning of this book with all the roots and stuff like that. So then I wrote like a section for Latin-based roots. And then I did a sample for her. And I'm going to go over this with her in the beginning too, before she starts this on her own. And then, you know, I wrote like a section for Latin-based roots so that instead of her skimming through this, I really want her to stop, pause, and like really pay attention to what she's reading. So for the Latin-based roots, I just want her to do like 5. I just wrote 5 examples of like, you know, where they have the origin, the meaning, the example stuff, just a little bit of refreshing, like, okay, what did you read? So I did that with the entire beginning section. And then once you get to the actual dictionary, which is just the kind of vocabulary books we usually do, where you just kind of open it, you know, wherever, and you just read the word or whatever. So I wanted her to write some of them. So what I did was, oh, and I also had her do the year of word origins. They have like, you know, the January through December, the months. And so then for the dictionary section, because I didn't want to use this entire 6th grade notebook, I mean, it would have took, you know, because we have different sections in it and stuff like that. I want her to do a variety of stuff. I just had her do half pages. So starting with A, she can choose a variety from A words in this book, and then just, I want her to write the word, and then, you know, a definition of the word, and then so she'll just have like however many she can fit, whatever. So I just did it A through Z, half pages, so that way I know she's getting something out of this. And then the last section I wrote is a cursive. I sectioned off. It's a cursive section where she does the personal cursive writing I told you guys about, where I like for her to practice her name, her city, her state, and stuff like that she won't get in the other cursive book. So that I just kind of did. I didn't do much. I did some stuff like had her make up a poem, copy a famous haiku, write your own haiku, copy first lines of your favorite novels, just for her to get handwriting practice, copy first lines of your favorite chapter books. I just came up with all these topics. So this will definitely keep her busy. And then I just left the end blank so that either she can continue cursive or we can add in another section later in the year. So that was the 3 sections using those books I told you guys about. And this still feels like I could edit it more if I would let some of those books go. But this is just like, I'm just going to see how all this goes. Because she's a good independent worker. So we'll see. Okay, so now I think you guys that's it for language arts. Okay, so now I have math Monday through Friday, like I said. Limited language arts on Friday, but most language arts are Monday through Thursday. And then now we're moving on to science. So science, I wrote on the schedule Mondays and Tuesdays. Okay, so science was one of the biggest areas I edited. So what we're doing is we're using this book, as Welcome to the Museum, Human Body Anatomy book. So this is our spine for science, and I kept this. So that I wrote for science, Welcome to the Museum, and the body book will be on Monday. So this book, it goes with this, and then the body book. So this is also like a little bit more complicated than I would like for her to do on her own. But I already bought all this stuff, and I was like, okay. So this is the activity book that goes with the book. Now this is very easy because it doesn't really coordinate exactly with a certain page. You just kind of do it randomly. So she will definitely be able to do this very easily on her own. Oh, and the answers are on the back. Okay, so this I still kept because, I already got it. It matches and everything. And then on Mondays. And then this I connected the chapters in this body workbook to the main book, which has like all the different body parts and stuff like that. So what I did was I went ahead and I made copies of just the first chapter because I definitely don't want her to do more than the first chapter, which is like the skeleton and like joints and muscles. So for chapter 1, there was 2 ones that correlated with chapter 1. I just made copies of the activity, which is basically like putting together a skeleton, which is like, I know she can do this on her own. And then it does have a lot of activities in the book that I'm going to, I have to do that soon. I have to go through every single thing and make sure. I'm probably going to skip most of the activities and just have her do the actual putting together the skeleton, which she can do. And then it has some other, things, to do with like that. And then we skip to the back, same thing. This is also how muscles move bones, which correlates with that chapter in the anatomy book. So this one just has like one thing about the muscles. I made a copy of it. So I don't know how far we'll even get like to match these 2 up, but yeah, so I went ahead and made copies, and we're gonna go over all of this together in the beginning. On Tuesdays for science, now I need to go back and like highlight all this stuff. Like I haven't, okay. So then for science on Tuesdays, I wrote reader and science notebook. So continuing with the school nest, we have the science notebook. Now I didn't do anything in here yet, it's totally blank. And we will be starting this together. It has a temperature tracker and the blank pages where you can draw something here, right, and then the left side, has the grid. So for this, the goal is so I edited the books. I'm going to show you guys in a second what I removed from science, but what I'm continuing with are 4 books. So this is Usborne Biology, the Museum of Odd Body Leftovers, Usborne See Inside Your Body, and then that's Life, Looking for All the Living Things Around You. So she will start off the school year with one of these books, and she will read, like, say, a 2-page section, and then she will go to the science notebook and draw and write and or expand on one of the topics she just read about. So she will have 4 books to choose from. I tried to edit these down more, but I just couldn't. I already removed some of them. I was like, 4 sounds like a lot, but honestly, like these, she's going to get through really quickly because the lift and flap books don't have many sections because they have, you know, all the cool flaps. So these, she will probably, like, you could probably do one of these in a little bit over a month. So I was like, if I start removing even more, we're going to run out. So I decided, okay, it's 4, but I'm going to keep them. So this is her science readers, her independent readers that go with the science notebook. And this is something we're trying for the first time in many years. We did science notebooks years ago, and we honestly never stuck with them. But that's the goal for Tuesdays. And I actually want to, for you guys, like, not just, I want to start, like, I'm going to highlight the subjects, so different colors. I'm trying these. Hopefully these don't bleed through. This is just a zebra midliners. I think it's a highlighter. It's like a zebra. I got these a while ago, but so I'm going to do each subject a different color also. I'm sorry. I'm like all over the place in this video, you guys, because I'm actually prepping this stuff while I'm talking to you. I'm actually coming up with stuff. So yeah, I wanted to do each subject a different color. I'm going to come back and do this a little bit neater after the video, but I'm just showing you because some of them have 2 lines and some have 1. It's my first year using an actual planner. I usually just kind of wing it, so I'm probably not the best person to watch. Hopefully not. Hopefully you guys get something out of this. So science. So I want to do science in pink and then continue with, now hopefully I don't change too much because then the highlighting will be on here, but I'm kind of committed now to the schedule. Hopefully it works out, or I'm gonna have to use some whiteout over it. That's okay. Okay, so sorry, that was loud noise. Okay, now we did science. Now history. So history, oh yeah, let me show you what I removed from science. A lot of stuff going on this table. Okay, you guys, so I removed this book. This is A Good Germ Hotel, Meet Your Body's Marvelous Microbes. The reason why I removed this book is because I didn't even realize this when I ordered it. I guess I didn't pay attention. It's more of like a picture book style. It's almost more of like a narrative, like a traditional nonfiction picture book narrative. So I didn't think it would work very good for the science notebooking. So I was like, you know what? It's short. It's like a 32 page. So what I'm doing is I'm going to have my daughter just read it. She could probably read this like really quick. So I'm just going to have her read this for fun soon, like in the summer. Just right before we start homeschool, I'm just putting this on her book pile and I'm just going to have her read it. That way I'm not like quote unquote like wasting it or whatever. Like not, you know, I'm still going to use it. But yeah, so I'm putting this aside. It was going to be in the rotation for the science notebook. Put that aside. And then these I just pulled from our bookshelf. This is Illuminatomy, which is those nice little books with, you know, where you open and you get to look at all the body parts, at all the body sections with the colored lens. I just pulled it from our shelf, but since we already like read it and looked at it before, I was like, it's just going to complicate things. She can pull it off the shelf if she wants, but I'm removing it from the main homeschool area for 6th grade. I'm putting it back just on the regular shelf. And then this one was another one I just pulled for the 6th grade year, but I just went ahead and removed it because we already read it. And it's just like a really nice pop-up book. Pop-up. Templar is the publisher if you're looking for it. Thompson, Hawkins, and Harris. So I'm gonna link a lot of things that are just, I'm gonna copy and paste from my 6th grade curriculum video, but some of these. But yeah, so this one I'm just taking out. Now history. Okay, so I went and grabbed the rest of the midliners so I can do different colors. I think I'm gonna do history green. So what I had planned and written for history was on Wednesday. So history is Wednesday and Thursday. I wrote it on here. So what I had planned for history on Wednesday was she was gonna read this independently, independently she was going to read this. We did half of it last year, the complete Everything You Need to Ace American History. Now, I didn't particularly enjoy it. She did a little bit, but you know, I like it. I don't love it, and I mean that's just me. I think it's a very good book, and I think it's a really good option for a curriculum. But some of the chapters are just pretty lengthy, and it takes us a while to get through it, and it is what it is. It's like a notebooking style, and it's like doesn't have illustrations and things like that. I like the check your knowledge section, but it just I wasn't really remembering a lot of stuff I read, I guess because it just wasn't that engaging for me. And we were doing it together orally. And I just decided to move on to something different. So I went ahead and scratched this. I just removed it from Wednesday because, yeah, I just was like, no, okay, I'm putting it aside. Not that I won't go back to it one day or something like that. But I put it aside, removed it, and then did what I was planning on doing also. But I was planning on having her do this only on Thursdays. So I was going to have her do that book on Wednesday and then this on Thursday. But then I decided to just do this Wednesday and Thursday. So basically, she will have the History Timeline Notebook. Now, in the beginning, it has like the table of contents. I've showed all this stuff in my 6th grade curriculum video, you guys. So if you're interested in a more of a look through, a flip through, more of a review, a haul, check out that video. I'll link it in the description. So it starts off with my history. So we're gonna probably do this in the beginning of the year where she does like the my history, but then and it also of course starts with prehistory and then all the dates and stuff like that. So we're gonna be starting, in the 1900s. Modern times. So I did a sample for her, and we'll go over this together. I did a sample for her, and it matched. So she will be rotating these 3 books: 20th century American history, women's history, and African American history. So so what I want her to do is open this book to the first date, which she will, read this and stuff like that. She will read these little sections. But, so, I looked to see the beginning date. So this the first event starts in 1903. I checked all 3 books, and this was the earliest one. So this one has an event that starts in in the year 1900, which is the suffrage movement. So she would do this book first. So she would do this section, like say on Wednesday. She would read this 2-page section. Some of them are 3 pages. Yeah, this one's 3 pages. She would read this, and then I went ahead and started the sample in here. So this for 1900, you go up, and I just wrote, like a little summarization of what I kind of read as a sample. And she will figure this out on her own too. Like this is just a sample. And then, the goal and like important people from this section. So I wrote that for her. And I also want her to use like highlighters and stuff like that so she can. And then I just added this little section with a little washi tape and little extra piece of paper because I thought some of the sections I want her to elaborate on I wrote like I just made this title up, you guys, because this is a sample. I'm going to peel this off. But I just wrote, watch the history of Susan B. Anthony on YouTube. And then I wrote like the date, just a fictional date, because I'm just showing her this as a sample. So I'm going to remove that. But that, for example, I want her to watch something like that. So we would normally do that together. And we will pick up doing this stuff together once I get on track with the baby and stuff like that. But so I went ahead, and that's the little markers on each book. I went ahead and I marked certain events, and she will have the liberty to pick her own events too, and people and stuff like that, and dates. But I went ahead and marked some events, and that's why I gave the YouTube sample, the video, because like say for example, Like the 19th Amendment is ratified in 1920. That's a pretty significant event. So I put the little marker here, and that's the ones where I want her to expand by watching a video on YouTube on that event. So I went ahead and just like the Great Depression, you know, pretty significant event. So I bookmarked it, tabbed it, whatever. And that will be something that we will expand on, because I don't want to just like skim through some of these events, because we aren't doing like a big lengthy textbook. So I want her to expand on some. And then, so what I wrote was, in here, I did a little thing and expand history. So when we do the expansion, it's like she could do different options, like look up YouTube clip or video on the subject, and then she'll have to tell her dad or me about it. And then I put like orally share, and then, or she could check our bookshelves for further reading to orally share. So say we have a biography on, like, say, Susan B. Anthony. Well, she could grab a book from our shelf, or like another history book we have, like even this book that's going to be on our shelf that talks about Susan B. Anthony. That would be another option. And then 3, she could do inspired artwork on the subject, which I don't know if she'll do that, because she kind of likes to just draw in her free time, but I did that as an option. And then I wrote document extra research using washi and paper in the history notebook, and that's kind of what this is. So it's just like another way for her to expand on, like, I would say the more important topics. And we also have the library, but we won't be checking out. I'm going to do like a library stop, where I've already brought all my library books back recently, and I don't plan on going for a while, because it's just too much to keep up with, like reserving and picking up, and like things due in, this book is due in 2 weeks, this book, So we're going to be doing a library pause too. I want to go ahead and mark this. I wrote timeline notebook, 3 20th century books. So that, okay. On Wednesdays, she does geography, and I'll only put geography 1 day a week, and I only have about 1 book for geography, so there was really nothing to change. It's National Monuments of the USA. So that book is just something that, it's a 2-page spread that we read, and that's it. That's very simple. So I'm keeping that. Let me do orange. So orange would be geography on Wednesdays only. Okay, well, I want to show you guys what I removed from history. So these 2 were extra books. The DK American History, I bought it last year thinking it would replace this book, but it didn't, because it just didn't have enough information, in my opinion, on each subject. Not that we're going to have that much more in the timelines, but the timelines I think will be a little more interactive, because she's writing and we're going to be doing the expansions. So I like this book, but I decided not to use it for the main curriculum, and I'm just going to put it aside on the shelf. Honestly, yeah, I just need a clear space, and if we're moving, we're going to be packing stuff, and this would be one of the things I'd pack. This, my daughter loves it. This is going to be something I'm going to like not pack at first or anything like that. Like, I'm going to keep out. She was just kind of using this in correlation, you know, like every time we got to president. But I think I'm going to just like have her kind of go over this in the summer. Not that I have much time left. So art did get a little bit complicated. It really did. But again, it was kind of feeling like language arts, like it was impossible to edit. So for art, I have art for every, let me move the ones I already used. I think I used these. So I have art for every day. So every day, Monday through Friday, she does art, because she just really loves art. So I'm going to do purple for art. So art is every day. Art, I had a really hard time editing, you guys, because like some of the books just, I knew, I'm gonna go back and like make this a little bit neater, you guys, after the video. Not that you care, but I'm just, so for art, so Okay. Yeah, so let's see. So for on Mondays, so first let me just show you guys what I bought to go. This is just a sketchbook. I already showed you guys this. It's just like a plain sketchbook. That's staying. And then I got this extra mixed media pad for art. I call them expansion projects. So this, you know, it has only 15 sheets, which she'll probably be doing this every once in a while when she's inspired. That, of course, you know, keeping in the area. And then, okay, so these are the two main books I got. Art for Kids Drawing, and then the Advanced Drawing Art for Kids. I mentioned in a previous video, thank you to the Mama Librarian. She has a YouTube channel. She mentioned that this book had a second part, and so I went ahead and got it. So we're focusing on drawing this year. So what I'm probably going to do is before we move, I'll probably end up, and then we got this, how to draw all the things for kids. I got animals and then random things. So I'll probably I'll probably keep 2 out, and then this will be like, say, the second part of the year. Because I knew one of these wouldn't last the whole year. It just doesn't have enough things. Because she does art every day. That's why I have so many art books. So, because this is like the first part of the year. So let's just say that. Okay. So then I wrote, now art is open to change. But what I wrote for now was like on Mondays, she would do Art for Kids Drawing. So now I'm thinking about that right now. Which is a little bit more of a technical assignment versus this, which is a pretty quick little drawing activity. So this, I didn't know if it might take her 2 days or if she wanted to do one assignment. Yeah, I gotta think about this, you guys, because I had her just doing this Mondays and then doing these every other day in the week. But what I think I'm gonna do is write on here that she does Art for Kids twice. Since we have 2 books now. So to expand on the art, she does the Art for Kids drawing book. Sorry, it's like messy. And then when she completes this book, she'll move on to this one. And then on Wednesdays and Thursdays, I wrote these, the how to draw. So she will complete one after the other. On Fridays for art, I went ahead and wrote mixed media paper because I decided that I want her to just do her own thing on Fridays for art. So she can do whatever she wants with, yeah. So that's on Fridays. Okay. Now, so, oh yeah, what I removed from art was this. Before, they were artists, famous illustrators as kids. So this book, I was going to do a whole year full of studying one illustrator per month. And I was going to have my daughter, I printed this out from the internet, I was going to have her make a dummy picture book. And that was going to be like the project for 6th grade, was her do like a picture book and study illustrators, which what this entailed was checking out books from the library that we didn't have on all of these illustrators. And I mean, he's Hayao Miyazaki's, of course, a filmmaker. But she said, she's like, well, because she said she wanted to be an illustrator. And then she said, I don't want to be an illustrator. I want to be an architect. And I said, well, so you have no interest in making a picture book ever? And well, not ever. Things change. Of course, I'm I'm like, you don't want to make a picture book? And she's like, no. And I'm like, talking to her, and obviously I could have stuck with it, and it doesn't matter that shouldn't have to do it as a career. It's just like something fun that we could have did together. But she's like, no, I really don't have any interest in that at all. And I was like, you know what? This is like a huge project. This was going to take me doing a lot of prep every month. And I was like, I'm just scratching it. So I'm going to have her read this. You know, I'm removing that. We're not doing the picture book project. So it's a pretty quick read. Just because I already bought it, and, you know, she really likes Hayao Miyazaki, and, you know, I'm removing it from the project. And I just was like, you know what? We're not going to do a big 6th grade project. It's just like too complicated. We brainstormed together, and honestly, like, she wants to do architecture, and there's not a lot of, she already does Minecraft class on outschool.com. She plays Minecraft. She builds with her Legos, and I'm like, that's just fine for now. So I removed the picture book illustration project. Now I have logic on Fridays. So only on Friday she does logic. I removed this. This is how many guinea pigs can fit on a plane. Now, I didn't remove it because I don't want her to read it, so I gave it to her already. So what she did is she's reading this now. Like, every day she'll read a few. So this became a summer book. It was going to be something she rotated on Fridays, which I thought was going to be too complicated. So I removed it from our homeschool rotation. She's reading it now. And then for homeschool on Fridays, I just wrote logic, and she will be doing this workbook, and then she has this. And then next on the schedule is keyboarding. So keyboarding I bought digitally from Handwriting Without Tears through Rainbow Resource, and that is on here every day because, you know, it's just like something she does on the computer. So that's on the schedule every single day, keyboarding. And then next I have a 35-minute of reading, which is something we're going to just continue. That's the last reading. Then the only other thing I have on the schedule at the bottom is piano, and then Minecraft class she has on Fridays. So the piano, my husband bought her like this keyboard piano, and we have her like, it wasn't scheduled for her to practice, but I put it on here for her to practice. And then I have to continue filling this out. So I went ahead and just like wrote September. I'm sorry, not September. I started here. I'm like skipping, sorry you guys. So I went ahead and wrote July, August, because we will be starting homeschool. It's a little messy. That's like, okay. We will be starting homeschool July 29th, that in week, and continuing into August 1st. So yeah. And then these kind of things, I don't know how I'm going to use them yet. And like, I don't know if we're going to do weekly assignments because we kind of just do the same thing mostly every week. But I didn't go ahead and do all the calendar yet, but I just kind of started it. So I'm going to continue doing that off camera. And yeah, so I'm really also excited for her to use the book log, but the book list, which is in here. I'd love for you to like, comment, and just be in here in general. Have a good day or night. Bye.